I'm Marcella Pedersen, and embroidery is important to me because it adds beauty to our lives. The spare room gallery is inside the library at Cut Knife, and it was developed for artists to show their work around Cut Knife. I was so impressed when they got it all up.
Yes, it's amazing how they hung everything beautifully.
So my journey into embroidery started at age 6 when I was watching my great aunt Ida do bobbin pin lace, and she did it so fast that it just blew my mind. And it was 40 years later before I learned how to do it. When I went to Belgium and Denmark on our 25th anniversary, I finally found Gil's cousin that could teach me. She didn't speak a word of English, but between the watching her directions and stuff, I learned all the different grounds and made sure I kept on practicing on the way home. So I got a cardboard box and made myself a pillow to keep the movement going. My husband's great-great-grandfather is the builder of the Marco Polo ship, the fastest ship in the world in 1850. And so this particular picture is pulled thread, and the Embroidery Association of Canada had their seminar in Prince Edward Island that year, and the theme was bridging stitches. So I did my Marco Polo and I put the bridge in the background, and I got second prize, I believe, for the theme. And then this one, I got the Leonida Leatherdale Award for innovation in embroidery. And I qualified for that because of the snakeskin, the shedded snakeskin that is in that picture. But that is also black work, but done with gray thread. That is actually a picture in Newfoundland that I copied from their postcard.
I was wondering, it looks like Newfoundland, so.
Yeah. Anyway, it's dyed over different fabric and then stitched. Rainbow is also black work, but it's done in different colors. And this is kind of a phyllo gold work. You take gold foil and you press it onto your fabric. And this one is the first class I took from the teacher. I wanted to know, how do you stitch water, sky, and snow?
Mm-hmm.
So I gave this picture, and she says, well, and she helped. She added a little more orange to the sky, which I was trying to do, but she was able to make it look the way I wanted it to look. Mm-hmm. And after all that was done, I started stitching the trees. And the snow is really just the fabric I started with no coloring to it at all. Mm. But the water was painted, and it was just the dark blue. And I said, so now what do I do with the water? And she says, well, there's a lot of color in that water. And I thought, thanks, that's not very helpful.
Actually, I like the way that it's kind of shimmering.
Yeah, and then there's also pencil crayon on there to shadow the trees.
Okay. That's what, get the correct lines going.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got third prize for that. That was my first prize winner that I got.
Wow.
This crocus is stump work, 3-dimensional stump work. This was a prize winner. In Winnipeg, the theme was the stitch goes on and on. So I had about this much left to do, and I thought, the stitch goes on and on and
Yeah.
on with this kind of work.
Yes.
So I thought it was perfect for the theme,
Mm-hmm.
and I got second. The teacher that taught me this is from Newfoundland. She was a gold work teacher, but she did lighthouses. She didn't like elevators.
Yeah.
So anyway, in 2002 we had a drought, and so I just put all these weeds looking into it.
What about the autumn leaves?
Another teacher that gave us autumn leaves that we had sitting beside us, and you painted them what you saw.
Wow.
So
It's a beautiful interpretation.
this is ribbon embroidery. This one here is an original.
Yes.
Rock, needle, scissors was the theme for Newfoundland. About 2 days later, I was at a workshop that they worked with wool, and I thought, well, I'm going to try doing Northern Lights. And I got partway through it, and I thought, why don't I put the scissors in the Northern Lights? And the needle was on the horizon, and the nunchuck was the rock.
Yeah.
So I got second prize again. This is needle felting with Romanian lace.
That's beautiful. Really nice.
This is stump work. This one was another one that was challenging. I was entering a competition that had water. And I thought, how do you stitch water? And it's layer upon layer upon layer of embroidery. This was a South African teacher that we did it all by video. And it's Jacobean embroidery.
Wow.
This is my own design. I wasn't sure I was going to get the perspective on the bale in relation to the rooster, but
Actually,
I think it's okay.
yeah.
There's another black work piece. This one was a first prize winner in pulled thread. Wouldn't have been my choice of the word, but on a trip to the Philippines, that poster was hanging in the church hall. And I thought, I took a picture of it and I'm going to stitch it sometime.
Very poignant, yes.
We need to get that message out.
Yeah.
I was at a gallery in Winnipeg and the artist had painted these. And I thought, there's another good message that needs to get out. The
Yes.
Hudson's Bay blankets that
Yeah.
were given to
Colors.
the Indians to contaminated with smallpox and gold work. This is called Bargello. In this one, you might find interesting, the ends is done with a soldering iron. You cut and melt with the soldering iron, and it's like your nylon fabric that is that melts easily,
Melt at the edge.
very fine.
Yes.
These were all teacher generated.
Mm-hmm.
That one I started doing around 2004, and I think I finished it about 10 years later. And Frosty Lines Blessing, the story behind it is, it's an original. I was coming down Bear Hill on our land, cross-country skiing, and this is what I saw on a very sunny, frosty type day.
So sparkly.
And there was lines everywhere, the
Yeah.
airline, the power line, the fence
Yeah,
line, the
yeah.
ski trails.
Yeah.
I thought, I gotta try making that, but it took me a long time to gather the threads to make it look frosty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do one with power lines in it, and that one, I had a picture of a sundog, so I thought, well, I wanna see if I can create a rainbow look. But anyway, the theme was Endless Horizons for Regina, and that's the one I created for that.
Yeah.
The other piece that's an original is my COVID lockdown blessings. It's a piece of hardanger made into either a doily, but it could be framed as a picture. but tried to stitch what a COVID germ virus looked like, and that's what I came up with. And then I put the 4 symbols for COVID that was going around at the time. And when I got those done, I thought, now what do I fill out the rest of this space with? And I thought, well, there's room for 4 more COVIDs, but what am I going to fill in these little blocks with? So I went to Facebook and I asked my friends if they would give me some symbols or words associated with blessings, positive thoughts about COVID-19 lockdown. And I got 51 items from 30 people. So I put them all in. I entered this in the original, and that's why I had to make up a booklet, the development of the piece, to win that. This is what they call narrative embroidery. It's history.
Where's that piece now?
I wanted to give it to Prime Minister Trudeau, and so my friend said she would give it to her MP, and then he would give it to Trudeau. So I'm not sure where it's at right now.
Oh.
This one, I finally got first prize in seminar theme. It was in Victoria, and the theme was Beyond the Edge. So what's beyond the edge in Victoria? The ocean. So I got thinking about this cartoon I had seen one time, and I thought, I'm going to make that. So I hate cross stitching. It's slow and tedious and whatever, but I made that one, and it won first because of the humor, not because of the stitching.
And where's that one now?
Well, a businessman from Corrobert bought it.
Oh, okay.
He wanted his employees to use their heads and not trust GPS to find where they're supposed to go. So, and this was a humorous way to get the message across. This one is gold work, and I wasn't very happy with it. When I look at it now, it doesn't look so bad.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
And the one next to it with the little flowers, that's very pretty.
That was on a boot. And the teacher designed it from a boot,
No way.
from a Victorian era boot.
Wow.
And so adapted it to that. So this is actually black work. And you'll see in the other gallery I did some more black work, but it's not black at all. And this is black work here too, but I did it in red.
That's very nice. That's the best looking dandelion I ever saw.
That's my first, well no, I guess it was my second chance at thread painting.
Okay. Wow. That's really nice. I like that. On the black.
What I enjoy most about embroidery is mixing colors and creating shapes and seeing what you can do with what you have. I taught my own kids how to do basic embroidery. Karen has done some beautiful work, both in hardanger and in surface embroidery, but she started a project to embellish a dress the way you would do Victorian quilting, and she came up with some fabulous designs on that piece, but she doesn't have the time to put into embroidery. Whether she continues with it when she gets older, I don't know. I don't think I did much embroidery until No, I would say between school and life, working, motherhood, I don't think I did any embroidery that I remember until the kids were a little bit older, and once I joined the embroidery guild and found out that there was all these different kinds of embroidery, then it took off more. The most difficult part of embroidering would be planning the colors, designing what you want to do with them, waiting for a light bulb moment to come on. With the Embroidery Association of Canada, they have seminars every year, which are classes, and in wanting to learn all the different kinds of embroidery, I started in 2002 attending, but I didn't really go every year until after 2010. And because every seminar is in a different province, you get to see all of Canada. And so that's a really great way to, and the embroidery people, over the years, you get to see the same ones. So it becomes a small family group when you get to see each other every year. I have received many awards, maybe about 8 or 9, I don't know. When I'm recognized for the embroidery that I've done, it feels great to be appreciated, and it's nice being recognized by your fellow stitchers. I found other stitchers that knew how to do the things that are important to tell our story, I guess, is what embroidery does in a picturesque way. Some use paints and some use thread.